Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
There was no first lecture today.
Yes, it was Maria ma'am's lecture.
So how many students were there in the lecture?
9.
9 were there. Acha. Okay, let us start the lecture. Whether student come or don't come is their choice. So I was doing the revision actually last week so that you can choose your topics properly. Okay. So let me go to that. I have there is no break between the two lectures if you think there are breaks between the lectures. It's as per offline timetable we are engaging the lectures. Okay. Anybody has any query related to assignments? I have made you understand how to prepare the assignment. Now you can start choosing your topic. As yesterday solo singing competition also got over, now remaining uh, activities are submissions, correct? So you should start working on your internal project now. Now I'm giving a quick revision for eco-criticism. This I was searching last time as well, this PowerPoint. Now this is regarding Mahesh Dattani's radio plays, which I talked about, I think. Mahesh Dattani's radio plays where he has talked about environmental issues. Okay. So, eco-critical and humanitarian concerns in Mahesh Dattani is the tale of a mother feeding her child and clearing the rubble. Okay. Global warming and related crises have been discussed since 1938. Okay, see, in 1938, we started discussing global warming. So, how many years? Almost it's 64-5 years we are discussing global warming. Time magazine expressed the very long back regarding global warming. Okay. IPCC's report 4 in tells that temperature has increased. Okay. Increase in global average air and ocean temperatures. Widespread meltings of snow and ice. India among the 27 countries vulnerable to a sea level rise. Is it clear? IPCC AR5 report 2014 says increase in anthropogenic emissions of greenhouse gases in last 40 years. Okay. 1983 to 2012, the warmest years of last 1400 years. 1983 से 2012 तक के जो years हैं वो warmest years रहे हैं. If we see the warm of last 1400 years, okay, globalization and extreme modernization are much to blame for the emissions mainly contributed by the 20% rich people. Unseasonal rain, forest fire, drought, earthquake, etc. are also happening due to climate change. Mortality from heat stress, hunger, malnutrition, malaria, dengue. Even malaria, dengue are result of even malaria and dengue are result of global warming. A Fable for Tomorrow in Rachel Carson's Silent Spring reminds of the Bible. Okay. Heat stress like cold waves. Now in winter season we say na cold waves. Similarly in summer season we say heat waves. And because of heat waves, heat stress is increased. Okay. Hunger, malnutrition, all these are also result of climate change up to some extent. Now, if we talk about literature written from environmental concern, it says Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, written in 1962, reminds of the Bible, and A Fable for Tomorrow is one of the extract in that Rachel Carson's Silent Spring. William Ruckert, perhaps first to use eco-criticism. William Ruckert, this I have already discussed. The new book is Richard Carrige's Writing the Environment, written in 1998. Okay. Now, The Tale of a Mother Feeding Her Child is a very good radio play, which is a story of two persons, one from India and one from England. Okay, this Miss Anna Gosweb, who has come to India, okay, and she meets a person whose name was Jaman. Okay, so they share good relationship. Okay, and when she returns to England, after that, when Jaman was facing the problem in India, in Gujarat, he writes to her, Dear Miss Anna Gosweb, I hope your God has been kind to you. our gods had failed us. There were they were too busy favoring our brethren in the cities and of course the higher caste people of the village. Now you know whenever any problem happens, whether it is natural crisis or man-made crisis, it's the poor people who suffer a lot. Okay, you have experienced all these things during pandemic, even that how people are suffering during pandemic, especially the people from low financial background. Okay, same is happening here in this story, sorry, in this radio play, The Tale of a Mother Feeding Her Child, where he writes, our God has failed us, okay, because they are favoring our brothers in the cities and of course the higher caste people. So he's talking about people who are having good financial, good economic status. Now, this also reminds us of Marxism because Marxism talks about class struggle between rich and poor, okay, between powerful and powerless, between urban and rural areas. Okay, so you can look at this radio play from Marxist point of view as well. It was like now Anna Gosweb, when she comes to India, how does she feel like? She comes to India to help Jaman. It was like stepping inside a furnace. I wanted to rush right back into the airport, took a train to Gujarat. The air conditioning helped me sleep a little. It was summer season. Okay. And she was saying that when she was outside the train, okay, it was like furnace, means it was so hot. Okay, and she wanted to rush back to the airport, but she took a train to Gujarat because she wanted to help him. And the air conditioner in the train helped her to sleep a little. On her way, she realized hell itself, the land was tawny, deathly, broken down to flakes of dung like just bits of dried earth. The number of carcasses strewed around increased as we get closer to Saurashtra. Okay, so on her way, she realizes hell itself. Now, when she's traveling by train to Gujarat, she realizes so many things. That is what she has expressed. She realizes that Gujarat, the environment in Gujarat is hell itself. Okay, land is tawny, deathly, and broken down to flakes of dung like because there was no rain. Okay, just bits of dried earth. The number of carcasses means dead bodies strewed around, increased as we get closer to Saurashtra. I parted with my bottle of mineral water to save a child from dehydration and certain death. Now, when she reaches Jaman's house, she finds his daughter is suffering from malnutrition. She hasn't got water even to drink, and so she had purchased a bottle of mineral water, and so she gave water from that bottle to that child Shanti. Okay, Jaman's daughter's name was Shanti. She was suffering from dehydration and certain death. Water was available in bottles and sachet at a price about 25 paisa bottle. That time the bottle was available in 25 paisa. Okay, I saved them. At least I saved Shanti, and she was happy that she had saved the life of one child. Now, this is in nutshell. I have given you idea. Now, in the second radio play, Clearing the Rubble, this story of the play, written in 2001. This play, radio play, is about earthquake in Bhuj. Now, I think you may not be knowing even in 2001. I experienced it on 26th January 2001. I was in the college in Mumbai, or you can say Thane. And I have gone to college for that flag hoisting ceremony on the account of Republic Day. Okay. And I experienced the earthquake in Mumbai as well on that particular day. Okay. So it is referring to that earthquake which occurred in January 2001. Direct response to the earthquake in Bhuj in January 2001 display clearing the rubble. Okay. In this story also it is shown how foreigners help Indians. Okay. Salim, Rahul lost his leg and I lost my mother. I have lost everyone now. Now the Salim is a boy who is thinking when he lost his family members in that earthquake. Okay, he's talking about Rahul who had lost his leg, and he says, I lost my mother, I've lost everyone now. Fatima, Salim's mother, okay, thought, take me away from this unjust world now. I have no more strength to call out to those people who help others but not us. Now, when such calamities, earthquake, tsunami, flood, okay, cloud bursting, anything happens, though the disaster management team reaches the spot and helps people to save their lives, but it may happen that you are also calling for help and nobody reaches you. So Fatima is in such situation only when she is calling out for help, but nobody has come to her help, and she's thinking that if it's better if I die. Okay, all of them reduced to heaps of rubble. Okay, now those who were under the rubble and those who were out of the rubble even, but not getting any type of help, because when such type of crisis happen, again they need to depend on so many people for food, water, correct? So these people are thinking that our life has reduced to the heaps of rubble. They are completely cut off from the world. Not a single telephone in the village is working. Now they can't make a call even to anybody to help them, because not a single telephone was working in the village. So they were completely cut off from the rest of the world. That these people have lost their homes, their livelihood, their loved ones. They are not crying. There are no wails, only silence, grief everywhere, as if the piles of rubble are a part of their lives. Okay. So these people have lost their homes, their livelihood, their loved ones. They are not crying. Now, during the earthquake, they have not only lost their lives, some of them have lost their homes, okay, their livelihood also, because if they are buried under the rubble, they can't go for work, na? Until and unless they are removed from the rubble, and then it will take time to heal. And so they lost their homes, their livelihood, their loved ones. They are not crying, but they are no wails, only silence. And that silence is deadening and frightening. Grief everywhere, as if the piles of rubble are a part of their lives. Is it clear? I hope it's clear. Now they are calling for help to people from disaster management team. Don't go, help me, help, please. Okay. In Bhuj, there are vans full of relief material everywhere. All efforts are being made to rescue people or rehabilitate displaced families or simply offer food or clothing. Okay. So in Bhuj, there are vans full of relief material everywhere. All efforts are being made to rescue people or rehabilitate displaced families or to simply offer food or clothing. Now, it's not that the government doesn't make any effort, administration doesn't make effort. efforts are made, but it may happen that it doesn't reach it to all people. Though there are vans coming full of relief material, okay, and all efforts are being made to rescue people and rehabilitate displaced families, those who have lost their homes, and to offer them food, clothing, etc. Are you preventing equipment and supplies from reaching Muslim and Dalit populations? Now discrimination happens at every place, okay, in every family, in every institute, in every village, everywhere. So they are asking, are you preventing equipment and supplies from reaching Muslim and Dalit populations? Okay, this is not my village anymore. It has withstood many calamities, droughts, floods, caste, wars. We are born, we live, we die. No different from other places, but for those who live here, it is the center of the universe. He says, then people are asking the administration who are sending the relief material that are you preventing equipment here refers to the equipment which are used to clear the rubble and to save the life, okay. So and supplies refers to food, clothing, water, okay. So there are people who are raising questions when they see discrimination happening, raising voices. So they say that are you preventing equipment and supplies from reaching Muslim and Dalit populations? This is not my village anymore. It has withstood many calamities. Now the villagers are thinking that this is not my village anymore. It has withstood means experienced many calamities, droughts, floods, caste wars. We are born, we live, we die. No different from other places, but for those who live here, it is the center of the universe. Now, see, for example, we belong to RJ College. So RJ College is the center of our universe, okay, for me as a teacher and for you as a student, correct? Similarly, in whichever part of Mumbai you live, that particular place is the center of universe for you, okay. So for villagers, that particular village was the center of the universe, okay, though it was no different from other places, but for those who live there, it is the center of the universe. So we see in our college also we see same type of facilities and services almost which are there in other colleges, but our college, we say na, our college, our Junjunala college. So similarly for those villages, that village was their village, so it was like our village and center of universe. We stay on because our lives and deaths haven't been acknowledged. The government offers compensation only if they show proof that they have lived and died. Now you know that on various occasion, whenever such crisis happen, like whether it is a natural crisis or man-made crisis, the government announces compensations, saying that such people will receive, those people who are lost their properties, who have lost this, that and all, will receive so much amount from government. Those who died, their family will get this much amount. Those who survived but injured will get this much. Serious injury, this. Normal injury, this. Like this. So but that compensation is, for that compensation also so much documentation takes place. You have to prove that you are the villager of that particular village and all na. So ration card, documents. See, when your house is in natural crisis, when people's houses are destroyed, so that documentation also becomes a big issue, na. So the government offers compensation only if they can show proof that they lived and died. Now, humanitarian concern can be seen. because during that earthquake, one of the journalists, Jeffrey, helps these people. Okay, Fatima, Salim's family. Okay, so human psyche is in the background of natural calamities. People from the same country attack human beings due to the prevailing social attitude. Now, due to casteism, due to racism, due to uh, religious difference, maybe people don't help each other. But sometimes people overcoming these differences help each other, not only individually but collectively. And even foreigners help, okay, the other, not only individually but also collectively in daily routine as well as during troublesome period. So we see discrimination happening in our lives not only during troublesome period but in daily routine as well. Okay, one foreigner helps another selflessly to save the life without being affected by the social prejudice. Okay, so in the case of the first radio play, the tale of a mother feeding her child, as well as in the second play, clearing the rubble, the foreigners, Mrs. Anna Gosweb and Mr. Jaffrey, who was a journalist, help these people who are suffering from the natural crisis. Okay, their family members, even if they don't understand each other's language. Miss Anna Gosweb being from England and Mr. Jeffrey also from being England, don't understand their language, but villagers' language, but help them. Okay, they understand the language of heart and humanity. It's never too late to be good. Sorry. The excellent formulae of the 9 R's. Recycle, reconsider, reduce. Earlier I gave you 3 R's. Now we have reached to 9 R's. Recycle, reconsider, reduce, refuse, rejuvenate, remember, respect, retreat, and reuse. Okay. Reject every type of selfish motive. If we have to protect environment, we have to follow the formula of 9 R's. Recycle as much as possible, reconsider as much as possible, reduce as much as possible, refuse as much as possible, rejuvenate, remember to care for environment, respect every element of nature, retreat, reuse, reject every type of selfish motive, formulate and implement the various strategies and measures, enjoy the bounties of nature and divine pleasures with equity and harmony. Nature has enough to satisfy one's need, but not to one's greed. Because see, nature has given us enough for everything, but we have become so selfish that we are using enough. Whatever we are getting. See, if you are having a house, you are not satisfied with that, you want more than one house, two, three, four, five, six, and all. So nature has given enough to satisfy, but we have become greedy. So greed, there is no solution. The need of the hour is to act fast. The world will become a danger zone if we don't work. Things will fall apart and the center cannot held. Now, this line I have taken from Matthew Arnold's poem, The Second Coming, okay, where he said that things fall apart, okay, and the center cannot hold, means it's talking about disorder in society. Center means administration. So, when earthquake and then when famine, drought, or like COVID-19 pandemic situations are there, you see that during second wave, so many people were dying because of lack of oxygen. It was reported in the media, but government said no, no, nobody died because of lack of oxygen or because of lack of supply of oxygen. So you don't know what is what is right, what is wrong. But in such situation, when the administration is not able to handle the situation, things fall apart, things start crumbling. It's not only about natural crisis or man-made crisis, it's about global warming also, environmental pollution and all. that because the administration is not able to handle the situation. Now, while lockdown was announced all of a sudden in the month of March in 2020, because if government hasn't announced complete lockdown, then people wouldn't have stopped traveling, interacting, and then many people would have infected at the same time, and it could have led to community spread, and the government wouldn't have been able to uh, control the situation. Dead bodies would have been there all in our surroundings, and that's why lockdown was announced all of a sudden. Okay, because it was health emergency. Climate change and global warming is a global warming. Okay, so people need to understand that it's a warning for all of us. So we should try to balance the imbalance, and the action should be taken at the global level. Active involvement of each class, institution, society, and country is necessary to prevent it from becoming more fatal. Is it clear? I hope things are clear to you. So this was regarding that. Okay. So I have done this. I hope Marxism is also, you can see Marxism here as well, because Marxism talks about the class struggle. Now you can see class struggle between the rich and the poor, the urban and the rural, okay, man, woman, and all. Here in these radio plays, we can see class struggle during calamity, how people from poor class suffer because no help reached to them during calamities. Okay, so I have revised whatever I have done during offline lectures, okay, in paper 5 and paper 8 as well. Today, now we will move to next topic. Okay, so which approach you would like me to do now? Because I have already done Marxism, feminism, and eco-criticism. So let's move to another approach. Okay. So this is your Google Classroom. I am telling you that I have posted all approaches to your classroom. Okay, so I have completed eco-criticism, feminism, and Marxism. And now I'm going to the next approach, which is psychoanalytical criticism. Okay, so let me tell you what is psychoanalytic criticism. Now, when we talk about psychoanalytical criticism, okay, so psychoanalytical criticism talks about the theory or the approach which is based on psychoanalysis. What is psychoanalysis? If we analyze this word plus analysis, okay. Now when we talk about psycho, it means psycho talks about human mind or human behavior, okay, or you can say psyche or psycho, okay. So when we talk about psycho or psyche, we are talking about psyche is human mind and or behavior, okay, you can say. So when we apply this approach, psychoanalysis, we are analyzing human mind or human behavior. Now literature is all about human behavior, correct? Is it clear? So literature is all about human behavior. So when we are talking human mind and human behavior, we are also talking about how to analyze literature, literary work, okay. Though psychoanalysis talks about analysis of human behavior and human mind in real life, but we are here talking about analysis of human mind and human behavior in literary works, okay. So when we talk about this, we have to see how psychoanalysis or psychoanalytical criticism can be used to analyze literary works. Now you have already read so many works, okay, poetry, drama, novel, short stories. You can apply psychoanalysis for any work, okay. Is it clear to you? Now, who are the first psychologists who talked about this? So it's Sigmund Freud was the first psychologist who talked about psychoanalysis, okay. Is it clear to you? Now, when he talked about psychoanalysis, he talked about abnormal human behavior as well. Okay, we can only analyze normal human behavior. It's not that. We talks about abnormal, normal, both human behavior. Okay, so what is abnormal human behavior and what is normal human behavior, that also we come to know when we study human mind and human behavior. Okay, now when we talk about psychoanalysis, we need to know a few terms to understand psychoanalysis. What is normal human behavior and what is abnormal human behavior? Also, we need to study. Okay. Now, normal human behavior means the behavior which is approved by maximum people in the society as per the norms, culture, values. Okay. Now see, there was a time when society used to behave in a different way. Now in 21st century, society behaves in a different way. See, before COVID, if we were talking about online classes, nothing was happening in the field of education like online classes. Okay. But since last 2 years, you can see that so much is happening in the field of education, and so necessity is the mother of invention. So earlier, if I used to say I have made videos in 2018, but that time I was not allowed to use the videos. Okay, nobody allowed me to use the videos for teaching learning because there was no facility as such in the college and all. But now in 2020 and 21 and 22, I can use it easily now without, I don't need anybody's permission to use my videos. Clear? So things change. Necessity is the mother of invention. So necessity brings change in human behavior as well. Okay. Now I am stopping the lecture, ending the lecture. We will resume the lecture at 8:35. Okay, it's break time. So after 10 minutes, I will again start. Okay.